Nope, I can't actually.
What up, what up, what up, what up? How are you today? Nick, how was your week? What's going on?
Hey, um, it was a short week, right? Yeah, we had a 4-day week. It was busy. Work is killing me, but I really love what I do. I'm happy with my task. I was invited to DC. I don't think I told you that. I have to go to DC for a hackathon, a
Oh,
North
nice.
America hackathon. Yeah, they, yeah, I'm going to DC. Week went by mad fast, really, really fast. How was your week?
It was good. Traveled, went back home, you know what I
Mhm.
mean? Got to kick it with family. I needed a reset, you know. Sometimes I feel like I be working so hard and I just be missing home. So I flew back to Connecticut. Um, Hollered at my Bridgeport people, you know what I mean? And was able to see my family, man. Was able to see some of my close friends, some that couldn't make it. We're like so close that I just FaceTime them while with other friends, you know what I mean? And
Mhm.
it just gave me like a full on reset. You know, I missed a couple people, but I'm gonna catch them on the next one. But yeah, it was a good look being around my
That's what's up.
cousins and uncles and and my great aunt. My great aunt, she's the last of all her siblings. She was out at the cookout, and she was side eyeing me like it took you a while to even come over here to speak to me. I was like, I didn't even see you. Like I was like, if I would have saw you, I'd stop everything I'm doing. You the elder of the family. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So
So was it for Memorial Day? I had a cookout. It was like a family
um,
reunion, or
it's it's crazy because my dad wasn't gonna have a cookout, and I said I was coming home. My dad was like, "Yo, if you coming home, I got you. Like, let's make it happen." So he called all the cousins. My family, we so tight knit. Like they like, "Oh, Ray coming home." They like made it happen. You know what I mean? And first time me and my brothers were in the same place in a long time. So me and all my brothers in the same spot, talking trash, looking at my dad's cars and stuff. And yeah, we just kind of rocking out. Like I know my dad hasn't had his boys in the same under the same roof in a long time, so I think it was like an overall good look.
did
Like
y'all take
and
pictures to capture the memories?
yeah, a few pictures here and there. Nothing too crazy. My younger brother hates pictures, so he took not one. I think we snuck one of him, but he hates pictures. Like I don't know what it is with him, but it's like he went to the military and got out. Was like, nah, I don't do photos. Like I don't know if he's like a secret agent or something. I don't know, but
Hmm.
don't shoot me down, government. But he just dodged pictures. Like you know what I'm saying.
That's what's
So
up.
we got like one little joint of him laughing and joking with me and my older cousin. But it was a good look, yo. Definitely, man. For those that in my family that missed it, I know they won't miss the next one. So like my dad is good for a good cookout.
I love it. I love it. What type of meat? I'm a protein girl. He grilled.
Yeah, he definitely my dad is like a big jerk chicken guy and we did
Mhm.
burgers. We had the usual potato salad, macaroni salad. We had what else did they have there that they was like murdering? Like a bunch of desserts. I know we had fish. We had fish there, frying up the fish. My aunt was in the kitchen frying the fish up. Um, Everybody brought their own little whatevers. You know what I'm saying? It was
Okay,
good.
that's
Black
what's up.
cookout stuff like a watermelon was out there. Real.
Yeah, we have a cookout next weekend. We do one in the country where my great grandparents are from. So I'm headed back home next weekend. Like I can't wait. I'm really excited. My daughter loves getting with her little cousins, and I wasn't raised around them, so I'm really trying to make up for lost time since I live in Texas. So I'm looking forward to it. It's gonna be great. I don't know what I'm gonna bring. I gotta find a side to bring, but I'm excited.
It's never too late to get to know your family, right? And I tell my family all the time, the one thing that everybody knows about me is I'm big on family. I love my,
Same.
you know what I
Hmm.
mean? My cousins were more like my siblings. My dad's cousins was more like his siblings. Like we tight. You know what I mean? So
I like that.
Yeah, it's gonna be. I think you're gonna have a good cookout, yo. Get to know you.
Yeah.
Never
I
know
went
the
down
people.
there once already. We went down for like a graduation thing since I've been here. But I got the text literally today, and I'm gonna take Charlotte and bring something. I
And
mean, it gets dark out there. It gets dark, dark. So I like to come home before it gets too dark.
you gotta know your family. You mess around, and the way we travel in the world, you know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
You mess around, meet somebody, and you be like, "Oh, she cute or he cute. That's your cousin." You know what I mean? Get to know your family, people. You know what I'm saying? You
Hmm.
do not want us to be like, "Hey, I'm going to the family reunion," and your girlfriend be like, "Oh, I got one too. I'll see you after." Y'all in the same place. Like that'd be awkward. You know what I'm saying?
You gotta talk to each other and know where your people are from anyway.
Right.
So
No,
we have a big family. Like my granny on my dad's side is one of 15, 14, 15. So it's a lot of them. My grandpa on my mama's side, my papa, he's from one of 15 too. That's the family we want to see, that one of 15. So we got kids and cousins on deck. I mean, I
that's
can't
my
wait to
dad's
get to know
side.
them.
My mom's side not like that. My dad's side is like that. My mom's side is real. Like my great grandma was the only child. You know what I mean?
Mm,
My grandmother, she was my grandmother's only child. So there's like she got siblings I don't even
we'll
know.
have a lot like that.
Yeah, that's just wild. But my dad's side, typical country. Whole bunch of kids. You know how that go.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? I got a bunch
Yeah.
of cousins, and yeah. So it's always a good
Oh, you
look.
know what? I did remember yesterday. I don't know if I told you I went to the Veterans Cemetery yesterday.
You
I went to
did
see my
tell me.
mother. Yeah, so I have a lot of military in my family, like my parents and on up. Nobody in our line has joined the military, but we went to the cemetery and we picked up flags and we rolled them up in stacks of 20s, and it was beautiful to be out there and see make sure my mom's grave was clean and my grandfather's. They take real good care of the cemetery, the Veterans Cemetery, and it's the largest one in the States. I
Are
know
are you
that.
are you close to that cemetery?
No.
Like my aunt, where she buried, it's like you got to drive almost an hour to
Hmm.
to get there in Connecticut. It's like they
Yeah, it's
find the
far.
furthest place away
Well,
from
it's so
everything.
big and they're still expanding it. You know, we have a lot of vets, but the Houston Cemetery is the biggest veteran cemetery in the United States. So you can just
I believe.
imagine how big it is. My mom's in X, my grandpa's in W, and you can see each other though. You can see my mother where she is from what my grandpa is. I really love that. Um, and they go out there like four times, at least once a quarter, and do something special. They say their names though at memorial. They'll say the names as they put down the flags. And then
Mm.
they'll do wreaths in December and then clean them and straighten them up in 9/11. So it was
You
nice. It was really nice.
whose job that is? You got to pay them some bread to do that. You know what I mean?
No, you volunteer.
You volunteer.
Yeah,
That's dope. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Good-hearted
Mhm.
Americans. That's what's up.
It's
Yeah.
mostly family. Like I went with BP. BP does it every year. Every time they have one, BP has an area, and we just go out there and pick up the flags and put them down. All volunteers.
Shout out to the volunteers, yo. I rock with that. That's like it's good to be a good person. You know what I mean?
It's good to be a good person. I really love it. I love doing community service.
Yeah.
So I love it. I'm gonna put Reeves down in December if we're in town.
It's 2025 where we live in an era of like the cool thing
Selfishness.
is to be toxic. Like they be like, "Oh yeah, I'm toxic." Like people say stuff like that, and it's like a brag. You know what I mean? It is good to be a good person. Like, I laugh when I see people do something super savage and then turn around and like trip and fall. Like
Because they
so
deserve it.
like karma.
Karma.
You know what I mean? Like look at that
Yeah.
karma smacking you real quick. Like it is good to be.
Yeah, you feel that?
If you could do anything, man, be kind to people, man. If you could do anything, like just be nice to
It's
people.
free.
Your life will
Kindness
be
is
better.
free.
You know what I mean? That's real.
Okay, so thinking about that, this episode talks about how you treat people, right?
Right,
Episode
right.
14, we meet some real life struggles. We talked about this early on, how some of the episodes teach you like life lessons, like real things happen. You had that one episode you wasn't feeling because you didn't feel like you learned anything.
Yeah, it
Do
was
you
that.
feel like you learned something from this episode?
Um, I feel like it was relatable.
Oh,
I
okay.
don't necessarily want to say that I'm not gonna lie, Denise is just Denise. You know what I'm saying? So it's expected from her at this point. Like I'm just kind of like
To be kind and a good person.
that makes sense. Like like it's Denise. Like she's that
She's
person.
playing her character.
It is relatable because I've had instances similar. So I can dig it. You know what I mean? Like I said, if you do anything, be kind to people. You know.
So you have no surprises in this episode?
Um, there are. I was not surprised at what was going on, but I was. I want to say, yeah. There's a couple little things that is kind of like, what's up, yo? You know what I mean? Like we'll talk about it. Let's get into it. Let's get into it. It was a good
Okay,
episode.
so we'll start with the first segment. Smart doesn't mean safe. What does that mean to you?
Um, Smart doesn't mean I feel like just because you are an intelligent person does not mean that you are a safe person to be around, right? I feel like there's a lot of intelligent psychos out there. You know what I mean? There's a lot of
Okay, so I'll take that differently. I was thinking that just because you're smart and on the outside you look like you got it together, you have no idea how I feel on the inside. I might be insecure. I might be unsafe. Like she was literally, I don't even know where she was sleeping. Was she sleeping? She didn't have a car. Was she sleeping outside? Like where was she having shelters? What was she doing in between
yeah.
time?
She had a car at first. She was sleeping in the library, and when she wasn't sleeping in the library, you remember she slept in Gilbert Hall. That was a whole diabolical situation. But
But before Gilbert Hall, what was she sleeping? They said they
the
went to look
library,
for her. It was the library, you think?
yeah, she spent time in there, and I don't think
Yeah.
she.
Okay, so I also think this speaks to how you could be really, really smart and you just need a helping hand. Like you could be so smart and still not have a plan, still be, down in your luck. For instance, I knew somebody that met somebody that was homeless at the West End, gave him some money, gave him some food, and the guy said that he had a PhD in English. He had a PhD in English and he was houseless. And he was houseless because he fell down on his luck. He had like lost his wife and he couldn't function. He was heartbroken, lost his home. And the next thing you know, he's out of a job. So no matter how smart you are, no matter how much paper and how many degrees you have, it doesn't necessarily mean that you know how to survive whatever your current situation is.
You sounding
Do
real like
you
what's
agree
that
with that?
day? Kanye West, high school dropout. He was like, I hope them degrees keep you warm at night.
Hey, I think about that every time I graduate. These degrees are just pieces of paper.
But I
They're
hope,
not gonna keep me warm.
yeah, it was like, I hope
You
you
know what he
stay.
left me? He left me these degrees. And
Yeah,
no one else out here in the shelter has this. Yeah.
right.
Shout out to that one song because College Dropout is the truth, boy. It's a reality check for your mama.
Yeah, I get it. A lot of people that graduate, you know what I mean, depending on the area, they don't really work in that field.
Hmm.
So I get it. You know what I mean? The degree, but I tell people all the time, the degree tells people that you have the ability to learn.
To
You
push
know what I mean?
through endurance.
It's literally all it does.
Yeah.
It tells me that you can stick through it to learn it. You know what I mean? And that's
Hmm.
your certificate that says that I can sit down and I can learn. I can be trained in certain aspects of things, right?
Right.
I get it. I get it. And Kruder was that she was that person. Like she had the ability to learn, but no, she had the drive to learn. Let's say that. I'm gonna put it there. She had the drive to learn. She just didn't have the finances to support her learning situation, you know?
And she didn't have the people around her to support her either.
Yeah, she didn't have like she didn't come from the best background.
Right. Right. Right.
And it'd be like that sometimes. I get it.
Me too.
I definitely.
Okay. So in that situation, like how do you help people in that situation?
I think it just all depends, right? Like, first you want to make sure that you're not putting yourself in a situation, right? The worst
Hmm.
thing you can do is go out on a limb for somebody and mess yourself up trying to build them up, right? You want to make sure that the build up is not a cost of your livelihood.
Hmm.
Like I'm big on if I got $20, you know what I mean? And my close friends, if I got 20, you got 10. Like I'm that type of person.
Hmm.
But I'm also the person that's like, I'm not giving you my mortgage money because you short 50. You know what I mean? You
That's how
gotta
smart would that be?
you gotta go find your own 50. You know what I
Hmm.
mean?
I
Because you can't
do.
guarantee that they're gonna give it back to you. Everybody be like, yo, I got you back, I promise. And they don't. Oh, my bad, man. No, I got you, man. I just didn't get. It's always like an excuse. You know what I mean? Like, it's people will make you chase them. You know what I mean? To get your favor back, but want their favor instantly. So you have to
Mm-hmm.
just kind of be careful. Follow the rules. You know what I mean? When you're helping people, make sure it's not costing you anything. Your job, your house. It's not putting your family in danger. You know, things to that extent. And make sure these people follow instructions, yo. You ever go out on a limb with somebody and be like, yo, call this person at this time, yo, they expecting your call, they gonna hook you up, they got you.
And they
And then,
don't.
then they don't call, or they call later. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I told you that they got off at 2. Why you call at 9 o'clock at night? You know what I mean? Or it's like, yo, be here at this time. They gonna give you something, I got you. And then you don't show up at that time. Now you looking crazy because you told them your people was gonna be there. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I can't stand somebody. Kruder did that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Kruder was able to stay in the dorm, and she said, "The only thing I don't want you to do is go in Whitley's room." And she
Yeah.
went in the
But
room
even
and
that
it
though, if
was
you was a real friend, she wouldn't even ask to stay to have her sneak her in. Like she was going out on the limb when she asked you, "Hey, I'm gonna actually do this bad thing for me, and then I'm gonna mess it up even worse by doing exactly what you told me not to do."
it's like just follow the instruction. If you would have slept on the couch, you probably would have been better off. You still would have got caught, obviously. You still would have,
Hmm.
just because the couch is uncomfortable, it's way more comfortable than a library seat.
It's way
You
more comfortable sitting outside on the concrete,
Right, it's way more comfortable than laying up on a bench in the park. You know what I'm saying?
and it's safer.
And it's safer. She snuck you in and just said, "Look, out of everything, don't go in Whitley room."
Right.
And you realize that Whitley not home, and you slide up there anyway. Like, what was the plan? Like, but I was thinking that when she went up there, I was like, what was the plan for the morning?
How you gonna get out? They don't lock doors in that dorm for one. You can go in anybody's room at any given time.
Right, that's
Um,
the front door locked.
yeah. So the rest of it don't
Supposedly,
matter.
supposedly the front door's
You
locked.
just deadbolt it. You can undo a deadbolt. It's no key keeping them
And
people in
the
there.
window was like unlocked. Like it was wild. Oh girl jumped out the
Hmm.
window and went down the
Second
fire.
floor, she was in survivor mode. When you're trying to get out and trying to survive, you could do anything. And she had been surviving on her own for a really long time. It
I'm
was
not
just, I thought that was so disrespectful for her to go up there.
with Whitley. Don't put like the fact that Whitley's background. I would have been like, don't give me no room with a fire escape outside the window. What is wrong with you? Like, you know what I mean? Like for her to be so uppity, why do you want a fire escape outside your room?
Maybe she
That's
just wanted, maybe all the rooms didn't have windows.
crazy danger.
It is. It
And I'm
is.
pretty sure she didn't have the only window.
She
Her,
didn't. I
her
was
and
just trying to
Lee
make
got
sense
the
of it.
only.
Two people had fire escapes though. In case of a, maybe she liked to sit out there. Maybe she liked the fresh air.
I
We
doubt
don't
it.
know.
Whatever. You know what I mean? She looked like the type of person that's like, I smell like outside. I got to shower right now. Like,
Okay, so that
she,
bothered me though. That whole her being smelling like outside, being dirty, being in her sheets, that whole room situation,
yes. It's
it
like
was just
you had to set the whole room on fire after she left. Like, you're homeless. Why are you
and
sleeping?
honestly, she didn't learn anything. We might have learned a lesson from it, but she didn't learn anything from this episode.
Nothing. Like, it was just kind of like she really was on the hustle mode. She got what she
Yeah.
got. She was on the user mode. Yeah, you did her homework. That's cute. You know what I mean? You caught one slacker out of the whole school and took advantage of it. Like, yeah, Denise
Hmm.
is not a big homework person, but she has a real big heart. But don't break the rules. Like, because in that instance, Denise, you could have got kicked out of school.
There's a few things she done that can get her kicked out of school, so we're not gonna blame Kruger for just
It,
that. Okay, but what about her drive to keep wanting to go to class? Out of all the things, do you think it was all the hustle, or do you think that she really wanted to learn and wanted to do things bigger than what she had the means for? What do you think?
I think she was a sponge for knowledge, but I do think that her circumstances made it to where she took advantages of wherever she could. Now, I think in those instances, um, don't push the envelope. You know what I mean? Like,
Mhm.
don't do that. You know what I mean? That's like you going up to a homeless person and give them a sandwich. They be like, I don't want a sandwich. I want money. You know? They like, wait a minute, hold up,
That's
we on
happened
this.
before. I've given food to someone and they're like, I don't want that. I want cash. I'm like, are
Yes,
you hungry? Do you want this? No, I'm good. You got some cash though? Kid you not.
not giving,
Multiple homeless people, they
not
refuse the food.
supporting your habit to why you're out here. You know what I mean? If you don't take this food that's gonna last you,
Yeah.
because you about to be hungry. You can't eat that money, so you about to be hungry.
I
You
had a
know,
mom tell me that she needed cash because she needed a hotel room for her and her baby to stay in. We were in Target.
that's big. That's the big Atlanta excuse.
Think me somewhere to stay.
Mhm. That's a big.
I bought
Hey,
her diapers and the milk that was in her carton, and I did not give her any cash. Now she can go back and return that. They're gonna give her a gift card, not actual cash.
right, because
But
I've had adults send little kids out. Hey, my mom's struggling, and we're in the hotel, but we need to find money to stay there a couple more nights. In my head, them couple more nights not gonna do nothing for you. You know what I mean? The sun gonna go up, and I mean, you know what I mean, and the sun gonna go down. And what you gonna do in them couple of days? You gonna come back out here and ask for more?
yeah,
People are the hardest workers at begging for money. Like, if they took that energy and went to an actual job, like if you didn't need an address to have a job,
if you didn't need an address, yeah, that's a hindrance.
they'll be good. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Because I've seen people in the morning on my way to work asking for money, and I've seen them out there this literally when I'm leaving. We're 8 hours later,
Mhm.
still out here.
You can make a killing though. They've done studies. You can make a killing on the street in the right city or the right corner. People give you all types of money, especially the ones that have a vet on it or a mom or those little things. Okay, so how do you balance that out? How do you balance out helping somebody and like being taken advantage of? And I'm asking for myself, like how do you? Because I have a bleeding heart sometimes. I feel so bad for people, but I've been through so much. I know that you can also dig yourself out of it.
I'll give my shirt off my back to help somebody, right? But then I had to learn that everybody can't be helped. I
Right.
think there's a limit and that's with friends, that's with family. I think when people think you're an ATM, it's time to back up. It's it's time to, and I hope I'm not giving out my little secret, for my friends that are listening to this, but when you think about me, think I'm always broke.
Hey, I am
Literally,
always broke. I'm gonna put out there, I'm broke, y'all. I'm broke. No matter how much money I make, I'm
I
broke.
don't care if I hit the lotto tomorrow. I'm broke.
I'm
And it's
broke.
based on, and the thoughts are because some of my friends, some of my family members, you know what I mean? And I love my family. I love my friends like they're my family. But you have those friends who have taken advantage of your kindness so much that you created the broke me. I
Yeah.
could literally have it could be payday. And I'm like, oh, this is a free check. I'm broke, bro. Dang, sucks, man. I'm going through it myself. And
I've had people tell me that in my family.
sometimes it is the truth. But sometimes I can't afford to give you money that I can't get back. So my
And
my
you should never, in my opinion, you should never give out money that you can't afford to
never
lose.
right. Don't I
Ever.
and there's been times, man. There's been times where it's like, man, I let you hold 50. Why I gotta struggle to get my 50 back? No, I don't want a
hmm
bottle. No, I don't want. No, don't take me out for dinner. Give me my 50 so
So
I
I had
can
that
use.
conversation with my kid like years ago. I told her, I'm broke. She was, Mommy, but we make this much money. I said, Mommy makes X amount of money. But the reason why I say I'm broke is because I got goals. If it's in my savings account, that ain't my money. I ain't got that. I have so much money that I'm budgeting for myself. And once that money is gone, mommy is broke. I don't
Man,
care how much money is in the bank.
kids will spend your money. Like kids will be like, "You just got paid, girl. I will take out my belt. Who you talking to? Like, who you talking
Did you
to
say
right now?"
we? Because I've heard that. We got
Yeah,
paid, we got money, we're rich, we're comfortable. What job you got, babe? What job you working at? Or like
I
for instance, we went out yesterday and we get in the car with my cousin and my uncle and auntie, and my cousin's like, "So we're going to breakfast?" My uncle says, "I'm paying for lunch. Are you gonna pay for breakfast? Because I'm not feeding you twice today." Decide which one you want. You got to teach kids and grown folks because there are plenty of grown folks that don't know how to budget their money. I know people who we're both Greek. I know people who will pay all these things for Delta but don't have a car, don't have their mortgage or rent money. Make that make
Mm,
sense because it don't make sense to me.
yeah, I'm not doing that. My thoughts are have your priorities straight. You know what I mean? Do not break the rules. Again, I want to say that and make it super clear. Don't break the rules to look out for somebody. Like if you know it's wrong, have the strength to just tell them no. I'm not doing that. You know what I mean? Like maybe because the thoughts are 9 times out of 10, if you get caught, that person you helping not gonna jump out and say, "Hey, it was me. Yeah, I did it." You know what I mean? No, they gonna be missing, because they in survival mode. So they gonna go missing, or they're not gonna keep the story straight. There's a reason
Hmm.
why your homie can't keep a job. You know what I mean? There's a reason behind that. That they can't keep a job and haven't started a business. I think there's a difference in that. I think there's a difference. You have the homeboy or the homegirl that can never keep a job, right? But then
Hmm.
you got the homeboy and the homegirl that can't keep a job because they don't want to be told what to do, so they start their own business. People who start their own business, entrepreneurs, shout out to them. They don't want to be told what to do. You know what I mean? They like, I'm the boss. So they grind
Hmm.
it out and they prove that they're the boss. But then you got them other people who don't know what they want to do with their life, and they ain't got no job, and they just like, I don't know. Y'all hiring? I'm not. I'm not.
But
You
I
have a
also want to do a shout out for people about being humble. You know what I mean? Like do the right thing and all that good stuff, but life gets hard. Life is not easy. Sometimes you gotta be humble and you gotta ask for help. So Kruger, even though she's mad smart, she never stopped to ask someone to help her how to get into school, help her find a place to live. She just assumed that she just had to, just scrape, scrape, scrape and be in survival mode. I still live in survival mode sometimes, and my therapist is trying to coax me out of it. But it's hard when you're in that survival mode. It's hard to get out of there by yourself. You're gonna have to trust somebody, depend on somebody to help you look in a different kind of way. Because if all you're doing is surviving, in my opinion, you're not living, and you can't really enjoy life if you're constantly trying to survive instead of being present in what you have in the moment.
yo. I see some of my friends. They be on trips on a regular.
Yeah.
I just be like, when I talk to them, they not rich. They figured it out. They like, man, I'm taking a trip in May. I started saving in January. I started making payments. I don't have that discipline yet. That's gonna be my next thing. Have the discipline to start making payments to live life, right?
Okay.
If I know, instead of me, like, I'm a big person that if I have it at the moment, I'm living at that moment. Like, I'm on some stuff like I got some extra cash. Like, let's go out, let's enjoy ourselves. You know what I mean? I'm
Okay.
in my head, I'm not
I
thinking, let's go to Jamaica.
Let me help you with that. You want some help support?
Yeah, I probably gonna need that because
Okay, we're
I'm
both born in November.
tired of watching people living
Well,
life.
you're December, but we're like a month from each other.
Right.
We're right
I'm no
next to each other.
I'm
Huh?
I'm at I'm at the end of November. You just you said
I
this.
know, but that's basically December. I'm trying to think in my head. I'm
Like
trying to think in my head.
we're
It's
both
like 2
November.
days before December.
You at the front door and you're like a couple days like after October.
I'm a week. You are 2 days, and then it's a new month. That weekend is probably going to be December. So my point is, you want help budgeting. I like to vacation. I can find a trip for us. Find a trip. My budget usually, and this is for the audience too, because I believe in living and traveling. I like to budget 500, between 5 and 600 to cover my flight and my hotel.
Mm,
Right? It's June. It's June 1st.
that's a lot. Who else going on this trip? It got to be like a cruise situation because I'm such a person that
Why does it have to be a cruise?
no, not a cruise, like a cruise situation, like a family.
Yeah, yeah. We'll invite the whole crew.
Because the way my turn up is, you know what I mean? I can't, if two people tap out, I need somebody else that can
Okay, I
step
think we should
in.
plan it and then we'll put it out. People do this. We'll put it out, if people from our listeners want to show up, they pay their own way. I can give them information. And in our crew, we have really good people in the village. The AUC, the CAU crew, there's really good people in the village.
And I would just want to say, to my friends that are listening and those that are hopping on this trip, my turn up is real. Like my turn up is like memories. My turn up gets like no, your kids ain't invited because
Oh, no, 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 no.
my turn up gets stupid. You know what I mean? Like, and I'm not talking about no, no offense, but no Diddy free costs. Like, I'm talking about like we wake up in
Who
the
gonna take offense to that?
right. No, no, no. Shout out to Diddy, but it's like I'm on some stuff like I used to in college. Um, a recruiter was regular, right? And I just want to say
Mhm.
that just to slide back in. A recruiter was regular, crust in the corner. Like we would legit be like, "Hey, we road tripping. I ain't got no hotel. Nah, you can sleep on the floor. Come on." And you just be in somebody's room on the floor. Be in Miami, living your best life.
That's
And
not
I
what Kruger was doing, but I got
no,
you.
no, no, it's not. But like we was good for like what you how Cruder was doing it. She was an actual like homeless person. But in
Right.
college, we was bumming hard. People don't even realize how hard they was bumming when they would go to a friend's room and your whole spring break was in a friend's room that you didn't pay for and you just rocked out on the floor, got up in the morning after the shower, you was up before everybody and you was out in the like I was that one year. My
Yeah.
freshman year, I bummed
Hmm.
that thing out. I went to Miami and I had enough money to eat and turn up. When I tell I woke up in the morning with a bottle of 1800, little small joint, put that junk in my little Kool-Aid, and I was on the beach watching the sun come up. Like, let's get it. Like, let's live it. You know what I'm saying? And when
Hmm.
my people finally got up, they was about to go eat breakfast. I'm like, yo, I'm about to eat this breakfast real quick. Who popping these shots with your kid? You know what I mean? Like, you have to, your liver is going to be like, who is this guy? You know
Well,
what I'm
we need
saying?
to vacation. We ain't never vacation together. We could probably
No.
get like 8 people together and go. And I think 500 is a good budget. I personally like hotels. So you might be an Airbnb type of person. I like to go to a hotel where I know I got guaranteed food.
I'm not gonna lie, I am an all inclusive result guy.
Okay, cool.
I
That's where
want
I be.
I can get up and these people in the morning at the bar, like, what's up? I'm
That's
swimming
my
in the
lane.
bar in the morning, like, turn it
Because
up.
we on vacation. Why not? You know what I mean? I'm here for it. All right, we can make that do what it do.
and
I do
and
want to say this. What?
and you have to make sure that you have I want to say 3 to 4 deep turn up days, but you need a recovery day. Like you need a day to
Three
do
to
nothing.
four. I was just thinking like a 4 day, 3 night type
So
situation.
that means that like 2 of them nights you gotta like go hard. You gotta like go hard in the paint and then
I
travel day, and then you got to sleep all day, and then you get back to work. Like you're gonna do it like that. Like you have to.
I
The turn up has to be. I be here, and the turn up
I
be.
accept. I accept the challenge.
Yeah,
Make a list.
let's figure it out. Let's call it. Let's put the bat signal out.
I I'm gonna
Boom.
get some research, get a math test. I'll actually later. Um, I think that's it. I mean, I think we covered all the highlights. I did want to say one thing though on a serious note. So we said a thing about Kruger. We talked about this before. You know, I was living out in my car for a minute in college, right?
Yeah.
So and I'm here now, right? I'm in a brand new build. I got my PhD. I have a good salary. I'm happy with my job. I wanted to be clear because I've been talking to some college people these last couple of weeks who are struggling. So I want to make a point to say that life does get hard. I'm never going to say that it doesn't, but nothing is impossible. So if you really commit to it and grind it out, you can get it out of your hole. I literally lived in a car and was taking showers on campus. And it wasn't just me. I was living in my car with a 5-year-old, you know? So it was two of us hopping couches, sleeping on floors, sleeping in the car, sleeping in the parking decks, different things like that. So I just wanted to be clear for whoever's listening who might know somebody who was struggling. It's not that whole checking your strong friends, but just know that anything is possible if you're motivated and dedicated to live your dreams. I really want to encourage people to do that.
People might not agree with this, but a lot of it is mental, right? Like you get in them situations and you're so depressed on the situation that you're not thinking clearly to get out. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Like you have to, if you know that you're in a bind or about to be in a bind, and this is for my college kids that are, either going to college or in college currently. I am such a find a way, make a way person. Like Clark and
Hmm.
Lamb is like perfect for me.
Shout
Like
out.
I am a person who is like, I'm not attacking the people. I like to attack the problem. You know what I mean? Like, what's going on? Hey, man, look, pockets is low, mortgage coming up. What's the grind? You know what I mean? Like, what are we
Hmm.
doing? What are we going to do? Up, car note due. What are we doing? If you know you got to get them books, what do you have to do to get those books? If you know what the one thing that these kids that y'all have is y'all have the world at the palm of your hand.
You do.
You could reach the whole world. My daughter had a fundraiser, right? And she did that
Shout out to
double
my niece.
popcorn joint, right? She did the
Hmm.
double good popcorn. And we had a goal to hit for her to get her band due. She did that junk in like a night. You know what I mean? Like she needed her goal was 1,200. And because of the network, because of us being able to send text, because of the village, because of the family, like find a grind. and use that computer in your hand that you, instead of you figuring life out, you on Instagram, use that. You know what I mean? And really reach out to the people, not a GoFundMe. That's some real bum stuff. No, like get a product, figure out what it is, have residual income, like rock out how you need to necessarily rock out in order to get yourself out that hole. Like every time it's not a let me hold my hand out to see who put something in it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like sometimes it's just you. That's just what it is. Sometimes it is that. You know,
And I
it's
think everybody should have a skill.
yeah,
Me
everybody has
and Jabari were talking about you the other day. Like you being a DJ, I know you like it and you love it, but like that's a skill. You know
that's
what I
just
mean?
I
You
don't
need to, huh?
I don't be wanting to do it all the time, and it's a you have to grind through it.
Nobody wants to do it all the time, but you're good at it. And do
Yeah,
you enjoy it?
I appreciate it. I do. I
All
do.
right, so DJ, like you got a skill. You can't just I think young people need to have a skill. You gotta have a hustle. You gotta have a hustle that can turn into some money later. You have to.
We
I
have
read it
the
here in college.
we have the ability to teach our children things that our parents did weren't fortunate enough to teach us. You know what I
Right.
mean? And we are we are still at an age to break generational curses. You know,
Hmm.
like and us as a people, we tend to live in our generational curses and be like, man, that's gonna make you stronger. Some parts of it was just jacked
Break
up.
that curse.
Yeah, like some of it was like, man, look, this is gonna build you as a man or a woman. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But some parts of it was just jacked up. Like, I'm not doing that part. You know what I mean? Like, they don't
And I
have
don't
to.
want our kids to. I don't want us to have to deal with that later.
Yeah, like all parts don't have to come together. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Like the parts that made you stronger is a must. I do believe some type of struggle is necessary because I ain't always gonna be here. Your parents ain't always gonna be here. Mom and dad, brothers, whatever, grandma, whoever is looking out for you and babying you right now, they always not gonna be here. So the struggle is gonna teach you how to survive when they are not here. You know what I mean? So I do believe that is necessary because this new generation has this place of privilege.
Hmm.
And but like me, for example, my daughter gonna figure it out. Like she gonna,
I
cause
bet she
I'm
does.
I'm such a no dad. I'm such a hey dad. No, absolutely not. You know what I mean? She has to figure her way around me. So I
Hmm.
know when I ain't here, she gonna figure it. Like she gonna figure it out. And I believe all kids need to have that mentality, not necessarily to disobey your parents, not necessarily to find a way around them saying no, but to figure out how to get what you want. You want a PlayStation 5 and your mom is like, we can't afford it, dad. Like, I ain't wasting my money on that. Figure out how you are going to get it and it's yours.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I just, those type of situations, I could dig it, man. Shout out to those in the struggle and figuring it out.
All right, so before we get to our songs and quotes, let's talk about the homework. We talked about, life gets hard. So I want y'all to shout out us and let us know if you ever struggled. And let me start again. Have you ever been had to be strong in public but struggle in private? So maybe you're going through something, but you had to push through to put on this like fake facade that you are right and you're not, right? We want to hear about it. And the reason why we're doing that, I don't want to trigger any listeners, but I want us to talk about things that we've gotten through and we've gotten past so that other people come in after us can know that, people have been through stuff and they struggle and they can, push through.
Oh yeah, no doubt. Most definitely. I could dig that. That's some good homework right there.
Okay, you want me to share my line?
Yeah, let me hear your line. What's up?
Okay, so you kind of like you were talking a lot during the episode, and I kept thinking that's so in line with my line, so hard. So my line from this show comes at the end when they're like talking to the dean to try to get her enrolled in school, and
Yeah.
the new dorm director tells the dean, it's not my way, it's the right way. He was saying that you just want to get what you want and get her in, but you got to go about things in the right way. She said, it's not my way, it's the right way. So the right way can mean I'm following all the rules, but can also mean it's the right thing to do, right? So following the rules is legit, but sometimes you got to know what's wrong and what's right. And it's the right thing to do to help somebody if you can. It's the right thing to do to stay on that couch, even though you want to be in the bed. Sometimes you just got to do what's right and not just what you want to do because you're being selfish. So I picked that line.
I
What you
could dig
think?
um
Okay.
no, I like that. I like that. You're right. And just so y'all know, we never discuss what our lines and what our music is prior to.
Nope.
You know what I mean? Just so y'all are aware. We kind of just surprise each other with this, and I like that. That was a good one.
Thank you.
I like that. That was
All right,
that
what's
was.
my song?
So the song we're going with is 1984, right? This is something that you're not gonna expect.
Such a good year.
Oh, that's is it, right? 1984 Houdini, Friends.
Love
Friends,
Houdini.
how many of us have them? Friends. That's a good song, right? Because and
Hmm.
I chose that just because Denise was legit being a friend. Cruder necessarily wasn't. I think she was becoming a friend. By the end of the episode, I do believe that they were actually friends because she came back and told her that she took her test and all of that good stuff. You know what I mean? And but I do believe that she was using Denise at first and using her kindness as a weakness. You know, so yeah, Friends, 1984, Houdini. Look it up. It's a good song.
Houdini. I love it. I love it. All right. This was episode what, 15? 14. This was
14.
episode 14, fam.
Yeah,
I'm so excited to be on this journey with you.
yeah.
Um,
Rocking
our
out.
Hillman family, please remember that words have power, so make yours count.
Right, and like a good beat, keep the vibe going and let the music play.
Peace.
Peace, 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 people.